Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the INTJ Talk podcast. I'm Taryn. It's good to have you back here for episode 14. This is going to be a really cool episode because we're actually going to be diving into self-care strategies and routines for the INTJ. We INTJs are very logical, very independent, very strategic. We often can be workaholics, and with that, of course, can come perfectionism, overthinking, overanalyzing, and a lot of social fatigue. So it's really important that we recognize our unique needs in self-care because I feel like we're the type to just go, go, go and push through things. And it can be, very bad to the point of burnout sometimes. So it's really important for us to do some of these self-care routines every single week and just to make them a habit, regardless of how we feel. So I have 10 self-care strategies that we INTJs can start doing honestly as soon as today. So let's dive into it. So the first self-care strategy is to actually get some type of intellectual stimulation. Now, we INTJs, of course, we really can't turn off our brains that easily, and we crave intellectual stimulation. So, why not encourage that by either reading books or some thought-provoking article online, or even taking some type of an online course, like, for instance, I do foreign language courses. That is actually a way that I practice self-care. I love learning as an INTJ. I know you love learning as well. So this is actually a great way that we are able to relax. It keeps our minds sharp and it also satiates our thirst that we have for knowledge. So I really recommend to get some type of intellectual stimulation that's like outside of work, outside of things that you absolutely have to do, and find some type of stimulation that you like doing, some type of a hobby that will stimulate your mind. Another great way that we can practice intellectual stimulation is by joining some type of a forum or group discussion that focuses on, deep intellectual topics. I know there is an INTJ Reddit that you can peruse. There are probably so many other Reddit communities that focus on, these deep philosophical type topics. So that's another great way that you can stimulate your mind and also help you relax at the same time. The second way that INTJs can practice self-care is through creative problem solving. These types of activities like the Sudokus or the Wordles, these are not only fun for us, but they're a great way to keep our brain engaged. And, for most people, this will be like some type of a stressful activity, but for us, it's really relaxing. We typically love these types of things. So do some type of creative problem solving game or puzzle or project. The third way INTJs can practice self-care is through journaling. I absolutely love journaling. It is so helpful in helping me relax. Reflective journaling is going to be a very powerful tool for INTJs to help process our thoughts and our emotions, our feelings. Sometimes things can get really jumbled up in our head because we always have, some type of dialogue going. We always have something going on in the background of our mind. So this way we are just able to do a really big brain dump and just get out all of those things in our head and just clear up a lot of space. So journaling, whether you do it on your phone, you can do it on the computer. I personally do it in an actual notebook, but whatever way you choose to do it, I highly, highly, highly recommend journaling. It is so therapeutic. I have some journal prompts on my website that I did, I think a couple of years ago. I will leave a link in the description box where you can, download those and work through them at your own pace if you would like some prompts, but it's just a really great way to just get all of those thoughts out onto a piece of paper. So highly recommend it. The fourth way INTJs can practice self-care is through mindfulness practices. So this is going to look like meditating or deep breathing exercises, yoga, just something that's really grounding and is a really good stress reliever. Those are going to be your top choices. Mindfulness practices will really help INTJs reconnect with themselves, and it'll help foster a sense of calmness, tranquility, because we have really busy minds. We're always thinking, so just being grounded and being in the present moment can do so much for your mental well-being, your emotional well-being. I also have some guided meditations on my channel. I will link those too, but they're really good at just keeping you in the present moment and just relaxing and quieting your mind. So I really recommend finding some type of a mindful practice that you enjoy and incorporate this into your daily routine, because you will notice a significant difference in your stress levels. The fifth self-care strategy that I recommend is having some type of a fitness routine every single week. This can look like running, it can look like Pilates, yoga, some type of strength training. It can look like doing little exercises from YouTube, stretching, cardio, whatever. It does not matter. Just as long as you are moving your body, you're getting your heart pumping, you are sweating, this is going to do so much good for your mental and your physical well-being. Not only does exercise make you feel good and look good, but it helps to keep you motivated. It brings you a sense of clarity, a sense of achievement. And we INTJs, we love finding rewards in something. And fitness, after a while, I know it's hard to start, but after a while, it can be very rewarding. The sixth way that INTJs can practice self-care is by nourishing themselves with a really healthy diet. So eating things like leafy green vegetables, a lot of fruit, a lot of water, enough protein, lean meats, these types of things will really help your body and your mind in the long run. Now, I am someone who is a recovering cook, as I like to say. For like the past 10 to 15 years, I have absolutely hated cooking. But what just kind of changed my whole mind frame about it, especially over the last year or so, was just finding different recipes from different cultures and then incorporating that into, my weekly cooking routine. So just finding healthy meals that look fun, that are interesting, that incorporate different spices or different foods that I'm used to will really help to, get those creative juices flowing, and will help you to, just empower you to cook more if you are someone who doesn't like cooking. A nourishing meal is going to be the cornerstone of self-care for INTJs. So highly recommend either buying nourishing food or finding new ways to cook food in a nourishing way. Now, the seventh self-care strategy for INTJs is going to focus on social connections. And this one is basically quality over quantity when it comes to social connections. We INTJs thrive on deep connections, so it's really important for us to focus on the quality over quantity in our relationships. Normally, we like small friend groups of like-minded individuals or mentors. We don't really do that well, with big groups because we are introverts, so it's pretty draining for us. So I guess what really is going to help us with self-care is just really taking a look at our relationships and deciding which ones are adding to us and which ones are taken away from us. And then from there, just cultivate our friendships more meaningfully. By cultivating meaningful relationships, this will help to build our social batteries, and it'll help us to not feel so tired and so burnt out after social gatherings. So really find your tribe, your group of people, your circle of friends that add to your well-being, and, just do away with the ones who don't add to it. This alone will do so much good for your mental well-being. The eighth self-care strategy for INTJs ties into the previous one, and this one is having scheduled social engagements. Managing social interactions through scheduling can relieve a lot of pressure of spontaneous outings, and things like low energy activities like coffee dates or book clubs. These types of things will be perfect for INTJs who are looking to socialize, but without overwhelming and overextending themselves. I found that by scheduling out my social outings with my friends rather than us just, kind of meeting whenever, it just does so much good for my social battery because I'm able to prepare for it. So if you're someone who is feeling a little burnt out, like you have a really good friend group, but you're still a little drained at the end of everything, try scheduling out these different outings and then see how you feel afterwards. The 9th self-care strategy for INTJs is to plan more solo dates with yourself. Solo dates are absolutely amazing for our self-care, and I know some of you probably already do this because as INTJs, we're pretty solo people already, but sometimes just being more intentional about making these solo dates for yourself is where all the magic happens. So like actively planning out a date, but just with yourself. So whether that is planning out a movie and then going out to eat somewhere or going on a solo hike, just something that's not so spontaneous, but you actually have it in your calendar. And it's like at least maybe once a week or every other week, but having an intentional planned solo date with yourself will do a world of good. I'm telling you. I actually have an entire blog post that I did about this recently, just solo dates for introverts. So I'll link that down below in the description box for you. But solo dates are where it's at. Like this will take your self-care to the very next level. Like you will not believe it. The 10th way that INTJs can practice self-care is actually by embracing new experiences. Now, I know as INTJs, we can definitely be little hermits. We like our routines. We don't like to really deviate a lot from them. But sometimes stepping out of our comfort zones will lead to incredible growth. So, trying new hobbies or traveling to different places and meeting some new people, but, in small doses, of course, it can open up an entire new world for us that we didn't know existed. We love learning, and stepping out of our comfort zone will help us learn so much more about ourselves and also the world around us. So I know this is kind of an unorthodox self-care tip, but just trying out new things and broadening our horizons in small doses can do so much good for us. So highly recommend trying it. Again, just dip your feet in. You don't have to do everything all at once, but it's very helpful. So those are the 10 self-care strategies that I have for INTJs. I hope you try some of them out. And I would love to know if you have any of your own self-care strategies that you do that I haven't listed in the video. So if so, definitely drop a comment below because I love reading the comments from you guys. Thanks so much for tuning into this podcast, and I will talk to you in the next one.